Now, if you have a horse with a real thin tongue, and it might sit a little lower in the horse's mouth, you might have a lot more contact on the bars. So when you're thinking about what bit to put on your horse's mouth, you're thinking about, well, what is my horse going to go best in? Why is this bit a problem? Why is that bit not a problem? Look in the horse's mouth and see what's going on in there. That is really important. It's really helpful. And if you have a canine tooth that's close to where the bit's going to sit, you're going to want to get the bit away from that canine tooth as best you can. I want to take a minute today and talk about bit placement in your horse's mouth. A lot of people have a lot of questions about which bit to use and a lot of questions about pressure points, but not much is talked about with bit placement, where to set the bit in the horse's mouth. And the issue that you run into, you need to look into your horse's mouth and see what's going on in there. Some horses have a shallower mouth, some have a deeper mouth. A horse is going to have canine teeth. A horse may have teeth that need to be floated, could have issues with the bars, but I am always going to look inside the horse's mouth, and I'm going to look at where the bars are, where the canine teeth are, and I'm going to look at that in relation to where I set the bit. She doesn't have any canine teeth on this side, nowhere near where the bit would sit. I don't feel any on that side either. Some horses will have them, some will not. Some will have one or two, some will have a mouthful. But the canine teeth sit between the molars in the back and the teeth in the front. Horses bite grass off with their front teeth and then chew it up with their back teeth. And horses don't chew like this, they chew like this in a circular motion. And the canine teeth in the middle, sometimes they can be close to where the bit is going to sit. At the clinic I just had last weekend in Texas, a horse was doing some funny things with his mouth. The bit was sitting a little bit low in the horse's mouth, and I went and looked at his mouth, and the bit was right up against the canine tooth. And that was causing some issues, some discomfort, and I raised the bit up in his mouth, and he was happier. I typically like to adjust the bit right up close to the corners of the mouth with no wrinkles. If I give the horse enough looseness and they'll pick the bit up in their mouth and hold it, my communication will be better. That's why I don't like it tight with wrinkles. You don't want to put it too loose, or you could be hitting the back of the front teeth. Then your communication is not going to be good then anyways. You want the bit generally up close to the corners of the mouth with no wrinkles. But given that, you have to look at where the canine teeth are, make sure that's not an issue. I always like to feel what the bars feel like. Are they big and blocky? Are they real small and dainty? Feel what the tongue is like. It might be a real thick tongue, a real thin tongue, and that's all going to affect what type of bit you put in your horse's mouth. If you have a horse with a real thick tongue, a lot taller than the bars, the bit may not even sit on the bars. The bit might be all on the tongue. In that case, you might want something with a little bit more port, more mullen. Now, if you have a bit or a horse with a real thin tongue, and it might sit a little lower in the horse's mouth, you might have a lot more contact on the bars. So when you're thinking about what bit to put on your horse's mouth, you're thinking about, well, what is my horse going to go best in? Why is this bit a problem? Why is that bit not a problem? Look in the horse's mouth and see what's going on in there. That is really important. It's really helpful. And if you have a canine tooth that's close to where the bit's going to sit, you're going to want to get the bit away from that canine tooth as best you can. So that you might set the bit a little higher or a little lower, depending on what's going on in the horse's mouth. So if you have any questions, put it in the comments below and I'll answer your questions. Until next time, thank you for watching. So if you have any questions about what I'm doing here, put it in the comments below and I'll see if I can answer your question. And if you're finding what I'm doing helpful, if you would click the like button, and that will help YouTube know to send the videos out to other people. If you have a friend that you think needs to watch this video, share it with them. Let them see what I'm doing and might help more people.